Hidden inside Lockheed's facilities, far away from the spotlight, Skunk Works operated under intense secrecy. Only a small group of engineers were allowed inside, and everything they built was classified. At the center of this mysterious operation was a quiet but brilliant engineer named Kelly Johnson. Johnson had a reputation for doing what other engineers believed was impossible. When the Cold War began intensifying in the early 1950s, the United States faced a dangerous problem. The Soviet Union was rapidly developing nuclear weapons and long-range bombers, but American leaders had almost no reliable information about what was happening behind the Iron Curtain. Satellites had not yet been invented. Ground spies were often captured, and without accurate intelligence, military decisions were based on fear, rumors, and worst-case scenarios. American leaders needed answers. They needed a way to see deep inside Soviet territory without starting a war. In 1954, the CIA turned to Kelly Johnson and gave him a mission that sounded nearly impossible. Build an aircraft that could fly higher than any plane in history, enter hostile airspace undetected, and return with photographs of the Soviet Union's most secret military sites. Most aviation experts believed the mission couldn't be done. Fighter jets couldn't reach the required altitude, and an aircraft flying slowly enough to climb that high would normally be an easy target. But Johnson approached the challenge differently. Instead of building a fast combat aircraft, he designed something strange and unconventional. The aircraft had extremely long wings, a lightweight structure, and the appearance of a giant glider. Everything about its design focused on one goal: reaching the edge of space. This aircraft became known as the Lockheed U-2. When the U-2 finally took flight, even its creators were shocked by its performance. The aircraft could climb above 70,000 feet, an altitude so extreme that the sky began turning dark and the curvature of the Earth became visible from the cockpit. At that height, most radar systems struggled to track it, and enemy fighter jets simply could not reach it. Soon, the U-2 began flying secret missions across some of the most heavily defended regions on Earth. High above Soviet territory, its powerful cameras photographed missile bases, bomber fleets, and nuclear facilities that had been completely hidden from the outside world. The intelligence gathered from those missions changed everything. For the first time, American leaders could see the true scale of Soviet military power. The photographs revealed which threats were real and which fears had been exaggerated. That information helped prevent dangerous miscalculations between two nuclear superpowers. But every mission carried enormous risk. Pilots flew alone for hours at extreme altitude, knowing that if their aircraft failed or they were shot down, they would be captured deep inside enemy territory. Their flights were so secret that many people within the government didn't even know the program existed. For several years, the missions continued successfully, and the aircraft remained one of America's most closely guarded secrets. Then, in 1960, everything changed. A U-2 piloted by Francis Gary Powers was flying deep inside Soviet airspace when a surface-to-air missile detonated near the aircraft. The explosion tore the plane apart at high altitude, forcing Powers to parachute to the ground, where he was immediately captured by Soviet forces. The incident triggered an international crisis. At first, the United States claimed the aircraft was simply a weather research plane that had drifted off course. But the Soviet Union soon revealed the captured pilot and the wreckage of the spy plane, exposing the truth to the world. The scandal shattered the secrecy surrounding the program and intensified tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. Yet, despite the controversy, the impact of the U-2 program could not be denied. The aircraft had already gathered intelligence that helped shape Cold War strategy and prevented decisions based purely on fear. It proved that a small team of engineers working in secrecy could create technology capable of shifting the balance of global power. And Skunk Works was just getting started. In the years that followed, Kelly Johnson and his team would go on to design even more advanced aircraft, including one of the most legendary spy planes ever built, the SR-71 Blackbird. But the foundation of that legacy began with a secret laboratory, an impossible mission, and an engineer determined to push aviation far beyond the limits anyone thought possible.